Every athlete has someone who wants to support them. Every athlete at every level has fans that, they want to wear their gear, they want to rep them through their career, and we want to make that happen.
All right, here we go. We have the MyPlayer podcast kicking off. And this is going to be a podcast where really MyPlayer is going to be turning moments into merch with this podcast. We're telling real stories, dropping some real game, specifically with the brand MyPlayer, its athletes, founders, etc., that are from MyPlayer. And so today we have the co-founder and CEO of MyPlayer on the MyPlayer podcast to give us kind of a rundown of the who, what, when, where, and why of MyPlayer. So, Will, how's it going?
I'm doing good. I'm excited to share the story of my player and get some athletes on here.
Yeah, it's going to be a lot of fun. I think this is going to be a really cool platform for, the MyPlayer athletes to, really build their brand, continue to build it, and like MyPlayer says, it's your name, your brand, built for every athlete. So it's going to be a lot of fun. And really speaking of the player itself, kind of the origin story of MyPlayer, but talk to us a little bit about, as you guys grew, where you came from, the origin story, kind of the, what is MyPlayer?
Yeah, I mean this started in the garage. This was me and my co-founder. We wanted to create something that was special for every athlete that wasn't just the basic logo on the front, name on the back. I saw a lot of merch companies that weren't doing custom for every athlete. I wrestled in college. I wasn't getting crazy $1 million brand deals, but I was still getting reached out to for the occasional dollar, $2 water bottle deal. So I wanted to make something that was custom merch for every athlete, whether that's Walter Clayton Jr. or Peyton Gagner, my friend at North Central, being able to work with my friends, being able to help them create their merch. This was all started in the garage and reaching out to friends and people that I went to school with.
Love it. And one of the kind of the core pillars, as we mentioned, is turning those moments into merch, right? Each athlete, no matter the division or the athlete, right? They're going to have certain moments, certain brand kind of identity marks where they can create and build off that and to create different merch and different avenues for them to be successful. And so, talk to us a little bit about the My Player kind of background with the designs, the production, and kind of the fulfillment for the athletes and kind of what that looks like for them and the users and whatnot.
Yeah, we want to make it super easy. I mean, I want our athletes to be able to just sign up in just a couple seconds. Send us the coolest photos you got. Send us, your dream vision of your brand, and then we'll turn it into the coolest merch possible. And then if you don't like the first round of designs, which rarely happens, but if they don't, we'll be able to make cooler graphics. Like that's our goal, is to just make the best merch possible. And then for you to want to get your teammates involved, want to get your friends involved. Every athlete has someone who wants to support them. Every athlete at every level has fans that, they want to wear their gear, they want to rep them through their career, and we want to make that happen. This was started, like I said, in the garage, just making graphics on my phone. Like I still have thousands and thousands of graphics I made just on my phone that are just on there. So it's not like this is being like AI made or like anything like that. It was just me sitting on the computer making graphics and then putting them on the merch. We want to make sure every athlete feels that value of, being treated like the number one athlete, because at the end of the day, you're all going to practice, you're all competing, you deserve the best merch. Yeah.
Right, right. And I think kind of we've seen the growth of My Player with especially the athletes and the users signed up. And so talk to us about kind of the overall users, how many athletes you've been working with, and really, kind of the fundamentals behind, My Players, your name, your brand, built for every athlete, where it doesn't matter the division, like we were saying, but kind of speak to the growth, especially in the NIL sector and kind of where that's going and how the company feels about that.
Yeah, we've worked with almost 4,000 athletes now, about 3,900. And it started out with eight athletes that were people I went to like church with, or like people I went to high school with, or athletes I play with in college. And I sent a lot of DMs or like messages. I called a lot of them and I got a lot of no's. But eventually I got those first eight, and now we're where we're at now. Being able to help all these athletes and with their own individual brand, that's our goal. We have a lot of other metrics that we're looking at, but the number one thing is that, and then how much money we made for athletes. We made over $100,000 for our athletes all across the country. We worked with D3, D2, D1. Even outside that, we've worked with semi-pro, pro, high school athletes. Every athlete deserves cool merch. We want to try to normalize merch and create merch that everyone wants to wear. And that's what our goal is at MyPlayer.
Love it, love it. And it kind of goes to the any player, any sport, the any level kind of another core pillar of my player and kind of building that out and creating that. And as you guys continue to grow, is that kind of the next step, or kind of what are some next steps for my players? You guys continue to build it out, specifically, obviously, with this podcast coming up is going to be a way for the athletes to come on and talk about their brand and things like that. But what is next for my player going forward?
It's to create a brand that's it's more personalized to the athletes. It's to be able to tell their story. This is more than merch. We want to be able to help the athletes after they sign with us to make merch, help them get other brand deals, help them be able to grow their brand just through the apparel. And I want their mom, dad, girlfriend, or their grandparents to be wearing cool merch in the stands. I want the other parents to be like, "Where'd you get that?" And then that's I mean that's why we do this, to be able to see the reviews of people wearing the merch. It's so cool. I mean, to show that we're making an impact with these athletes in the long term and not just the one merch collection. And then we also want to be able to go work into high school sports, pro athletes, semi-pro athletes. This is a brand that's built for every player, not just one. It's built for every player, and I think our name perfectly goes with that with my player.
Yeah, well said. And I think it's, the merch specifically sector kind of is at that gateway to branding. It can build that fan loyalty, that community, the sense of purpose, and obviously creates different income and revenue streams for the athletes as they're building out their brands. And I love kind of that mission of my player, really connecting those dots and helping the athletes going forward. Speaking of going forward, we'll give you kind of the floor here as maybe any upcoming launches or ideas or things that you want to tell the My Player, fan club here.
Yeah, I mean, we want to really get into the youth and high school sector. We want to create the new picture day. I think being able to work with teams as a fundraiser to create merch that isn't just a photo on the fridge, or a baseball card. As much as I love the baseball cards, I want my parents wish they had something where it's a hoodie every year. When I was playing in little league all the way to high school to college, to show the growth in my career. And we want to put that on posters. We want to put it on car magnets, t-shirts, water bottles, whatever the parents want. But we also think this is for the athletes too. Like, this is something that you get to wear around wherever you go. It's your own brand. Like I said earlier, we want to normalize merch. Like,
Mhm.
merch is something that you earned. Like, most people can't just have merch. You have to be a college athlete. You have to be an athlete, and you're putting in the work every day. And
Yeah.
then also we want to get on a lot of athletes onto this podcast, including Chip Guzman, two-time national runner-up, Division III at North Central. And then we also want to get Zeke Mayo, Kansas basketball, Walter Clayton Jr. If you want to get on here, we'd love to have you. And then also Michigan softball, we'd love to have some athletes there. But we want to create this platform where every athlete can share their story, and then their merch shows it.
Mhm.
I'm really excited about it.
Yeah, well said there. And specific kind of the podcast obviously for the athletes to kind of continue to build their brand and show, their fans and kind of build that community aspect, which is, one of the most important parts. And so we're looking to, kind of showcase these athletes once or twice a week with the My Player podcast coming forward. So keep an eye out on all things My Player socials. And I guess, well, where can they find My Player on the socials and things like that?
Yeah, so our Instagram is MyPlayerAthlete, our TikTok's MyPlayerAthlete, and then we have MyPlayerSports on Instagram as well. Then our website's myplayerathlete.com. And then as we launch in the youth and high school, it'll be called MyPlayer Next. We want to create the next platform for every athlete to create their own brand, to prepare themselves for what's coming in college with the NIL space,
Mhm.
and to deck their fans out in the best gear.
Beautiful, well said there. And so for the My Player fan club there, go follow those socials. Make sure to join early as we continue to build this out. And we're excited, ready to rock and roll. So, Will, thanks for coming on. And I'm sure the My Player community is happy that this is going on and kind of the next steps. And like we said, be on the lookout for the upcoming podcasts and shows. We'll have a lot more of Will and other team members on the show as well to give us kind of behind the scenes looks, talk to the players and athletes, and continue to see this grow. So thanks again, Will. Any last words?
I just, if you're an athlete and you want some cool merch, you know where to find us.
Perfect. Well said. And, like I said, we're looking forward to dropping these soon. So stay tuned and we'll see you guys soon.
Perfect.